Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partnered with Robert Miller and Son Furniture.
As always.
My name is Drew Larison. This is MTM. Mr. Mayor, how the heck are you?
I'm doing okay for a Monday.
It is a Monday.
It's been a Monday. It's been a Monday.
Well, you want to talk about it?
Oh no, it's just the whole snowball thing. I know it's summertime, but one thing rolls into the other thing, and things get backed up, and then other things get thrown at you, and it's like, oh man.
Sometimes it really do be like that.
So
that's what the kids say.
Really do. It
really do be like that sometimes.
Well, then today it really do be like that.
Love that. How was your weekend?
Busy. The move of my daughter and son-in-law happened yesterday. They finally have to be out of their apartment down at school, and so we went down and tried to get all that finalized and out, and of course they hadn't been in there and didn't want to pay for utilities, and so the apartment was about 95 degrees, felt like. But hey, I think I probably sweat off about 10 pounds, so it was good. That was the only thing the good thing that came of that.
Nothing wrong with a little sauna action,
right?
Love that. Very cool. Awesome. Well, we have a great show planned today, and of this show, can't happen without our friends over at Robert Miller and Son. So kick off your summer with huge savings at Robert Miller and Son. Take 25% off store wide, plus and enjoy an extra 5% off when you pay with cash. And to celebrate American craftsmanship, take another 5% off with all furniture made in the USA. Whether that's upgrading your living room or your patio, now is the perfect time to refresh your home with quality American crafted furniture. Our knowledgeable team is here to make sure you find just what you need this summer. Visit their Kokomo showroom today. I just realized I have horrible posture. To everybody at home, I apologize for that. I look like a bum up here. Sorry about that. I'm going to fix that. These summer savings won't last long. So go see our friends over at Robert Miller and Son. What is going on at City Hall this week?
Well, we're still poking and prodding the water company to get closer to having the water line done at the splash pad in Jackson Morrow.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a lot of folks
was driving out there yesterday,
hoping that it was up and operational and available for the summer months. And unfortunately, the way things are slow rolling there, maybe the start of school, or maybe not until after the start of school, that water actually gets to it to use. So maybe some after school activities or opportunities for folks once they get that done. So unfortunately that happened. But speaking of water, just navigating, poor water company, I think they've had the worst June. I know we're already into July, but the worst June ever. There was like 5 water main breaks due to various things. And so they were scrambling to work on that. So kind of working around that, getting some more things paved as we can. 931 and 31 is a mess, but folks are doing the best they can to navigate that and the additional traffic now on 931, with 31 being a little closed off. But be happy to field any calls, emails, and such in regards to that, but just a reminder that it is the project by the state of Indiana through NDOT, and so we only have limited information and authority, if any, over any of that. So we'll do our best to help everybody navigate, especially when they randomly close off an intersection in the middle of a day and open it back up. But outside of that, just summer cleanup, coming off a wonderful Haynes-Apperson weekend. Kudos not only to the Haynes-Apperson folks, but our first responders in the street and the parks, and the hundreds of volunteers and folks that went behind the scenes to get not just the festival itself, but the music and the sports events and such all done. It was another bang-up weekend. So kudos to them for that.
Yeah, huge success, it seemed like, right? Love that. Yeah, Haynes-Apperson's always a good time. I always like looking at the grass at Foster Park after Haynes-Apperson. It takes a beat out there. Yeah.
And then we just coming off a fair week. So
yeah,
a lot of things happening out there too. Dust finally settling out there, I'm sure. But yeah.
Love that. Very cool. Summer's not over in Kokomo, though.
No, it's
Still
not.
got a lot of stuff going on.
No,
I think the
it's
Riverwalk Concert Series had their first event last night, right?
Saturday
Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. dodge that storm that came through. I was worried about that, but it seems like it went off fine. The storm moved fine. They were good.
Delayed the start of that and went a little later than anticipated just to get the time in. But yeah, luckily the storm blew in and blew right back out and allowed them to enjoy some music, some spirits.
Love that. Very cool. Let's get into some questions today.
Sure, yeah, because we obviously took last week off.
We did. Yeah, last week I was traveling and it was just hectic.
Sorry for the late start today. That's on me.
No, you're good. No worries. No worries.
So
we are here.
Folks.
We have an ad read for Best Price Fireworks, and I think it's still relevant. Best Price Fire. I mean, obviously 4th of July is over, but I think they still stay open.
I think they're still open
for a while. But Best Price Fireworks is here to make your 4th of July or 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Maybe they're not open. I don't anymore. Anyway, I'm going to read it. They have 2 convenient locations in Kokomo on 931 besides Buffalo Wild Wings and Chuck E. Cheese, and another one at 413 East Center Road in the Gabe's Pizza Plaza. Best Price Fireworks offers the best selection at best prices, all right here in Kokomo. So go check them out. I do know we did give away that $500 gift card to Best Price Fireworks for the on our Facebook page. So congrats to whoever won that. Proud of you. Happy for you. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend with that. $500, that'll get you quite a bit of fireworks, I think.
Anymore.
Yeah, love that. Let's get into the questions that we have today.
All right.
Sheena Miles from Facebook.
Hey.
Can we make the crosswalk from the YMCA to the parking garage safer? Reflective paint, or mini stop sign for pedestrian right away? Sheena on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, the crosswalk probably needs freshened up, and I know we've got crews down freshening up things around the downtown area, so I'll see what that may look like to address that. With on-street parking on both sides, might be tough to put a little sign there on in the middle of the street, but we can definitely look for possibilities. Just again with that on-street parking and folks coming out of the garage and such, I get that it can sneak up, or somebody can sneak up on passing traffic coming from between those cars. So yeah, we'll look at see what might be able to be done, and maybe it's just signage even for the pedestrian saying hold up, look both ways as a reminder as well. But yeah, with stop signs at both ends, it's unfortunate if somebody's racing from one to the other. But yeah. You're right. I think it's just because of the on-street parking there and folks not being noticed when they're coming out of the Y or the parking garage. But we'll see. Can start with possibly freshening up that crosswalk paint. Thank you.
I think we should force people to, as you're making that cross, you have to do the YMCA dance.
There you go.
That would slow them down and probably make them what's going, watch where they're going. Rob in the chat says, "Hi, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate you." Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
For watching.
Appreciate it.
Next question is from NJ on Facebook. With all the recent incidents of panhandling or panhandlers trying to open car doors at stoplights, and now homeless encampments popping up around town, is there a plan to fix any of this? Seems homelessness is becoming a bigger issue here, and there's multiple panhandlers at every major intersection around town. NJ on Facebook.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any more than there typically has been when it's nice and warmer and such. I mean, yes, they're out there. They're not supposed to be approaching vehicles and so when they do, folks are encouraged to contact KPD, or if you've got the 411 app on your phone, you can report an incident as well. But if they're just standing holding a sign, and they're not impeding traffic or entering traffic, there's not much at this point that we can do. But looking into the possibility. Or what other communities do. But if they are approaching the car or even approaching folks outside of establishments as they're entering or leaving. Or
enter in establishments.
Yeah, then folks are encouraged to contact KPD. I know we're taking a more intentional approach to the homeless individuals in the downtown area and in areas. But the encampments, again, those have popped up and last handful of years. But I know we've recently been to some of those areas and had both code enforcement, KPD, and our Parks Department all working together to clean those up. So if they see those incidents, again, download that 411 app to your phone. You can leave anonymous tips and anonymous reports on things, and so that would give locations of where those type of incidents are occurring.
Gotcha. Next question is from Jesse Lynn. Jesse Lynn on Facebook. Hey. Can we add lights to the downtown bridge so it is safer at night? The one next to the Riverwalk Pavilion, it is pitch black at nighttime without lights. Please, for the downtown residents who like to use it. 3 pray hand emojis.
So it did have lights, and unfortunately, we need to replace those because they have been vandalized. So those rocks and bricks or something have been dropped down because they were really shining up, and every single one of those have been damaged and are not working at this time. I think the engineering department looked into that, and it was going to run, I think, $30,000 to replace the lights on either side, and so we're trying to find a way to work that in as we prioritize things within the engineering department or Parks Department, whoever would end up footing the bill for it. So I get that there's even the aesthetic aspect of that as well that made it nice. So we recognize that the lights are out, or that. But looking at other options as well that may not be as costly as what the bottom ones were, if there's something to be put up top. But engineering department is looking into that as we speak.
Gotcha. Okay. Next question is from Beth on Facebook.
Okay.
Why are we dismissing charges on serious violent felons who get arrested for having firearms and meth? Yes, I realize it's county, but still.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish I had an answer for that. It sounds like issues within the court system itself, the struggles with resources or whatever may have been discussed in that case, either evidence presented and such. But unfortunately, I don't know.
Gotcha.
It is concerning, but that's on the justice system.
Yeah. And love this. NJ is in the live chat who asked 2 questions ago. I love someone who asks a question and then shows up to the show to hear the answer. And this NJ was the one very concerned about like the homeless population and panhandlers. And was speaking specifically about a specific individual. And he said he's been arrested multiple times for this already. So are there certain, if they get arrested so many times, they go somewhere, or is this just a cycle?
Unfortunately, it could be a cycle. They've probably attempted to get him. There could be mental health issues involved. I would like to think that they have tried to take this individual either to the rescue mission or to CAM, someplace where there's additional surround services provided. Or supportive services to be provided. But a lot of times, you can't force them there if they don't want to go or may have already been kicked out and such. So if I know that if they have a valid either driver's license or identification card that can verify where they're originally from, that the Center Township office has, and a lot of the township offices, have the means then to provide transportation, a bus ticket for that individual to go back to where their home may be. So that may be an issue as well. But yeah, outside breaking the cycle, is tough, especially if there's mental health issues involved as well that they may or may not be accepting support or additional help with.
Got it. Next question is from Brian on Facebook. Hey. It's not a question actually. Okay. Just wanted to thank you for fixing the intersection at Washington and Jefferson. Much, much better.
Much, much better. Glad to hear it. Yes.
Next question is from Brad Driver. Brad is upset. Question. I live in the Forest Park area, and it seems that only one road, Wildwood, got repaved. It just so happens that a city worker lives on Wildwood. Can we get the rest of Forest Park paved as well? It's all a mess. Do we need to have a few crack houses move into the area to get new sidewalks? Ours are a rubble mess. Meanwhile, your hoods have brand new ones. Are you afraid a criminal is going to trip and fall while running from the police so they get new sidewalks? Seriously, what do residents need to do to get some work done in our area?
Okay.
There's a lot there.
So, yeah, streets, priority lists. Just because we did Wildwood doesn't mean we won't do others. We have to see where the others would fall in to those sidewalks. We've talked about it before. The city has a 50-50 program where we can partner and cover half of the cost for residents on a particular block. I had to get I think it's still about 60% of the residents on a given block to participate in the program. So there's that as well. But it's the same concern and complaint that I hear from neighborhoods or residents in neighborhoods, especially neighborhoods without sidewalks at all, that would love the opportunity to have sidewalks to be put in. But yeah, I mean, we'll continue to prioritize the streets, the thousands of streets throughout the city, and see which ones can get addressed. And because we've been in Wildwood, hopefully that's a good sign that we'll be back in here in the next year or two to address some of the others. A lot of it's based on traffic volumes. A lot of it's based on the condition or the last time that it was done. So we'll continue to look at where the streets within Forest Park fall in priority when the street assessments are done every year.
Gotcha. Okay. And then there was also the mention of sidewalks, which we've talked about quite a bit.
Yeah.
How the whole sidewalks.
But I mean, where I guess where new sidewalks are being done next to existing crack houses. I guess I didn't realize that there were crack houses along there, but some of those are neighborhoods where either they participate in the program, or if they're in areas where development is being done, or additional work, again, based on what could be existing. It could be that there were trees uprooting. I'm not sure what the situation is on those. If they can provide what locations or what new sidewalk areas are being provided, or that he has a concern with, I might be able to get an answer in regards to why that was those sidewalks were done in that particular area. And it could be there was street work done as well, and so worked into the contract that there were or into the project itself, that not only the street but then the sidewalks were included. So it could have been that based on the area or the project he may be referring to.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Before the next question, we have another ad read from Azumi Japanese Cuisine here in Kokomo. Are you craving high quality Japanese cuisine that will create lasting memories for your taste buds? Get $5 off your bill when you spend $25 at Azumi Japanese Cuisine. Got a big friend group going? Bring them in and get $10 off when you spend more than $50. You get a discount and a full belly. Wow. Call that a win-win. From ramen to sushi, Azumi has some of the best to offer in Kokomo, and you certainly can't forget they have a sweet bubble tea as well. Next time you're craving Japanese food, make sure to come to Azumi Japanese Cuisine. You will not regret it. Shout out for Azumi for being a post partner here on the Kokomo
And
Post.
where are they located?
They're located over by Planet Fitness. It's actually over by Planet Fitness, as well as the OG Panda over there. Yeah. In that plaza over there. Love Azumi. Love that place.
Good deal.
Next question is from Lori on Facebook. Hey. When will you announce the new baseball team, and when will they hire? Because my adult kids are interested.
So we announced the new team ownership, but now we're working through the lease agreement, and we'll put together some potential mascot and logo options to then allow the community to weigh in on and help us select what the new team mascot and logo will be. So may not be until September-ish or so. Again, the new ownership group, Bullpen Ventures, is now courting one of the summer collegiate leagues in order to gain membership into that league. And so once that's solidified, then they'll move towards team mascot and logo. So probably in September.
Gotcha. And Chris on Facebook also wanted to know, what is the new mascot?
Don't know yet.
He's been waiting very patiently. Should be exciting.
Sure
Don't know yet. There's a few dominoes that need to fall before we get to that point as well.
It just will not be Jackrabbits. We're going to rebrand and shift gears.
Got it. Next question is from Tara on Facebook.
Hey.
What is the location for the Chick-fil-A? Is it going to be in front of Hobby Lobby?
Yes.
When does the construction begin?
It's still slated to be in front of Hobby Lobby, and construction is based on, I guess, their timeline. It was my understanding that they would have already broken ground. They pulled permits, so to speak, well over a month ago. And so it's probably based on availability of who may be building it for them, funding, financing, whatever it may be. So not sure. We're just patiently waiting for them to do it.
Gotcha. Next question is from Eric on Facebook. Will the new baseball team be in the Prospect League or the Northwoods League, or will they be doing whatever they did before having multiple teams?
We don't know what league they're going to be in. So they're in the process now of soliciting or working with one of the leagues to gain entry or membership into so as to get on the schedule. So they should hopefully have that done before September so that they can begin recruiting for the following year and get included on the schedule. So to be determined.
Gotcha. We have two questions from Tony on Facebook. First one is, just curious, are there uniform standards for gas stations and convenience stores? Also, what about minimum distance that dollar stores should be from each other?
Okay, so yes, there are design standards and such for convenience stores and gas stations. Those are in the current ordinance through the Planning Commission, and those businesses are given those standards, and then when they design those development plans, then get approved by the Planning Commission. It's not by the City Council. It's not by me. It goes to the appointed board of those citizens that serve on the Planning Commission, but again, those are reviewed by the Planning Commission office, the director and his staff, to assure that all is in place. And if there's not, then they go before the Board of Zoning Appeals to ask for variances on what they may be asked to have required in their plans. But both convenience stores and gas stations and small box discount stores like Dollar General, Dollar Tree, last year, we passed an ordinance that required that any new convenience stores and gas stations or small box discount stores needed to be at least a mile from an existing one. So
at least a mile.
At least a mile. So, I mean, obviously, when you look around like, oh, there's some right across the street. I mean, those are grandfathered in. They had already been in place and developed. There's two being built, constructed or developed now that got into the approval before that ordinance was passed, which is why they're doing it. But any gas station, convenience store, or small box discount store that wants to develop in an area within that mile would need to get approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals. So they would have to apply to the BZA and have them vote accordingly and potentially grant that. So there's the possibility, but nobody's tried yet just because of what's in place.
Gotcha. Okay. Next question is from Lacey on Facebook. She says, big size and a deep breath. So can we all just...
Okay.
I feel good.
Okay. Yeah, I did.
Nice. You've had a hard Monday.
I did.
So
that felt good.
Probably felt good.
Thank you, Lacey.
It's frustrating to see people complain about the unhoused community in Kokomo, yet few are talking about why it's happening or what real support looks like. Until our city fully invests in accessible mental health services, safe transitional housing, and programs that break cycles of generational trauma, we won't see meaningful change. This isn't about just an addiction or bad choices. It's about untreated trauma, poverty, and systems that continue to fail people from childhood on. I know that the Kokomo Rescue Mission is expanding with a new engagement center that will increase shelter capacity and offer legal aid, job training, and mental health support. That's a huge step in the right direction. Thank you. Kokomo's poverty rate is over 15%, higher than both state and national averages. The rescue mission is full nearly every single night, and people are still being turned away. So I'm asking honestly, what is the long-term plan to support our unhoused neighbors beyond emergency shelter? People want to see action, but it needs to be rooted in actual solutions. What can we do as a community to support our city? Lacey on Facebook.
Come up with ideas, or those that are willing to invest the time, effort, and resources themselves to provide that support. The unfortunate thing, and I know that folks will say, well, the city just needs to build a transitional housing, or they need to provide this, provide that. What we've run in, because I guess my thought is that if we're using taxpayer money in order to do that, there should be restrictions, or not necessarily restrictions. There needs to be rules, regulations, and such in these facilities and such. And what we've run into with those that may be camping out along the trails, or just on benches and such, in town, if there's availability at the rescue mission camp or whatever, they have rules and restrictions as well. These individuals, whether it is because of mental health reasons or just because they don't want to abide by the rules and regulations such that are established and required in these facilities to ensure the safety of others that are participating and such. And so, I guess if there was a way to work around that, and you hate to pass an ordinance that's going to force somebody to go someplace. I mean, it'd almost be like forcing them to go to a type of prison, because if you're going to be homeless, and you can't stay out here, we're going to send you to this facility. But in order to go to this facility, you have to receive these services. You have to, because I know that Sergeant Place, there's a housing facility, on the north side of town that has support services, within the housing complex itself. The fortunate thing is that those are there and available to the residents that live there. The unfortunate thing is that residents, even though they may be allowed to stay there, aren't required to obtain those services or to receive those services. I mean, they're optional, so they're there if they need them. They're not. I mean, so that's the fine line that you walk with that. But again, if she or anybody else has ideas, I know Indianapolis is working on a new project as well to get their homeless population off the streets, but I'm assuming it's going to be the same way. If they've got facilities, there's going to be rules and regulations that they'd have to live by in order to be in those facilities. And there are those that would, that are, yes, homeless or sleeping in their car, or, just fallen on hard times and willing to do that. And that's who we need to try and reach. But if there was an easy solution to all of that, it'd already be in place. And I know that the Rescue Mission and CAM and other facilities, nonprofits, that not just those here in Kokomo, but statewide, countrywide, whatever, have been fighting that fight for decades upon decades as well. And I think if a program was created and was successful the majority of the time, that it'd be replicated and hopefully available. And and part of that, it could be, the Section 8 housing, but the federal government's, cutting back on some of those. They want the local housing authorities to get out of the asset ownership business, but still provide the vouchers. And so then you've got to get, the developers themselves to provide, housing and to accept those vouchers, but then, what we experienced here when we, looked at new developments that might have that availability as part of their footprint, then folks come out of their skin and don't, they recognize the need, but don't want it, anywhere close to where, their neighborhoods are. I mean, so it's a frustrating topic, frustrating issue to try and address, because there's not a simple solution to it, or enough, not necessarily funding, but available resources of those that provide mental health services, or ways to get folks to actually take the services that are being offered to them. So
yeah, and Lacey,
always open to ideas.
Lacey is in live chat, so she heard this answer, which is great. I love that. You ask questions and you watch the show to get the answer. I mean, Lacey, this, like, there is no easy answer to this, but the answer I have in my head is we need more Laceys out there. We need more Laceys that care about these issues, that are obviously passionate about these issues. Obviously, if you're still watching, thank you for that, moment of zen. By the way, to start the question. But we need more of you. We need more of you speaking out, because like any city or town or community, we are better together with our ideas. And it is an interesting situation. Like you were mentioning, there are so many organizations that help out with this issue. Obviously, the city as a whole helps out with this issue too. So it's one of those weird things, like, whose responsibility is it?
A little over a year ago, when it started to become or appeared to be a greater problem, especially the downtown area, we had a town hall meeting over at Grace Church, and there were nonprofit organizations represented there, and there were churches, and there were there was a great turnout, and and it was in response to and concerning the proposed ordinance that. It was a camping ordinance, but it's basically prohibits folks from sleeping in public areas, and the general consensus there was that they were concerned and a little bothered that it looked like we were beginning to criminalize homelessness, and that wasn't necessarily the case. It was, in response, because you've got one half saying, don't criminalize, let's find them services and such. And everybody in that meeting, may have the opportunity to do that, but are stretched to the limits in their own right, in providing resources to those they serve already. And then you've got, others, that weren't at the meeting, or were there and didn't say anything, that, well, I've got a local business, not necessarily if it's downtown, but I've got a business, through the community, and, and I pay property taxes. And so, you need to get, those individuals that are approaching my clientele and such, to, move along. So you've got some that are saying, let's care for them and provide more, which I think is why we've got more coming in, because Kokomo is such a giving and caring community and supportive, and they do have a lot of services, not just through Rescue Mission and CAM, but Family Service Association and Gilead House, and you go down the line, United Way. There's so much that we do that word gets out, and so they come, but then you've got others are saying, okay, we got to do something to send them elsewhere. If they're not willing to take the services, and so. It is, if somebody has, a solution or an idea that, may work to encourage folks to do that, or other Laceys to come on board and help an initiative, I'm all ears, and I'm not the only one. It's a community-wide challenge.
Yeah, and it's community-wide, and like this. I think the topic that we're talking about too is much bigger than just the homeless population in Kokomo. We're seeing it across our country with like immigration and like things like that. Like just the idea of who does belong, and like looking at these people as, I love, Lacey, how you put it, actually, just like the unhoused members of our community, and like these people, a lot of these people, they are Kokomoans.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the official word for us, but like they are people that live here. They've lived here for a long time. they might be people
but
who have owned a home in this city before.
And those that we've encountered, I mean, the Kokomoans, the true Kokomoans, are actually a small percentage of the number of the
interesting
homeless or hard to house that are in town.
Yeah, so it's a big topic. But Lacey, keep doing what you're doing. Keep speaking out. Keep coming up with ideas.
Absolutely.
I think we're not done with this yet. You know, and like I think there are answers out there, and yeah. Okay. Very much drastically changing the tone here, but Michael on live chat wants to know, can you help define motorized vehicles for the path/trails? Are e-bikes or motorized scooters allowed? Question mark. Michael on live chat.
So e-bikes and motorized scooters, so probably just the stand-up ones, are permitted as long as they don't exceed a certain mile per hour or voltage. I know there's electric bikes that I forget. There's different classes, and so I think those that are only supposed to go about 15 miles per hour. I get that, kids are on small dirt bikes and other things, or even, larger electric bikes and go milling through. And so those are not permitted. Golf carts are not permitted. Four-wheelers are not permitted. Now I know our Kokomo Police Department, has a new gator and golf cart that they use to patrol, as well as e-bikes, but to patrol the trails. And we've had a few complaints about that, but I'd like to think that, the police aren't going to be, exceeding speeds or making it dangerous for folks to walk or ride and such. And folks would hopefully appreciate the police presence. But yeah, anything, I think the current ordinance is 15 miles per hour or less, but it's supposed to be lower powered with no golf carts.
Got it. Okay. Next question is from Eric, also on live chat. There's a house on South Webster, just south of Park Road, that it's been almost 10 years since it's burned down. How long does it take to have something demolished if it's a really bad eyesore? Eric on live chat.
South Webster, south of Park. We can look into it, but unfortunately, a lot of times, it shouldn't take that long, but a lot of times it could be, at least a year or so. Many times it's because the current owners, are still working through insurance claims and have asked for the opportunity to still, have the chance to work through that, to either look at rebuilding or to getting it cleaned and such. I'd have to check to see what the current ordinance, if there is a certain time frame in our existing ordinances for blighted, those that would be considered blighted properties. But again, more times than not, it's due to insurance claims or the property owner is requesting additional time to work through that. But yeah, 10 years would be a long time. But that's something we can definitely look into. It may be something that's on one of our demolition lists now,
like blight removal,
getting to it. So it said South Webster, south of Park.
South Webster, just south of Park Road. Okay. Said it's been at least 10 years. At least 10 years.
Go check it out.
All right. Deborah on live chat. When are you going to start enforcing city ordinance laws? I do appreciate you building up the KPD and KFD. Great to see new recruits. Deborah on live chat.
Probably depends on what ordinances she's talking about. We try to enforce what we can. A lot of times too, if certain ordinances, those violations get to the point that they go to the courts, there's evidence that needs presented, or however that gets panned out. But a lot of times, ordinances, if there's violations issued and those are sent to the property owners, they may pay them and claim that they're cleaning up the property, and then continues to go back. But we do the best we can to enforce what we can. And a lot of times it doesn't seem like it because there's a process. Especially blighted properties. Sure. You notify folks, give them so much time. Then after they have so much time, whether they ask for extensions or not, there's just that legal process then to to go through. It could take, a couple months after the first initial contact or notice of violation to somebody. But I guess it, again, depends on which ordinances she may be talking about. But we do the best we can with what we've got. And a lot of times it's those things that are in process or that folks don't actually see that ordinances are being enforced.
Gotcha. NJ in the chat, which appreciate you being active in the chat today, man. He's talking about that house that someone else was referencing earlier. I forget. It said it's between Harrison and King Street. So let's narrow that down even more. South Webster, just south of Park Road, in between Harrison and King Street.
Okay.
There you go.
Let's find out.
Thanks for that. Last question we have on live chat today is from Steve. I haven't seen any patrol enforcement on Morgan Street nor Smith Road for the drag strip that we have. Also, Dixon has gotten worse for speeding. Why can't we radar these areas? Schools are about to go back in session, and the poor kids will be dealing with this, only to get worse as fall sets in and it's much darker. Steve on live chat.
Yep. As we continue to add officers to be able to do direct patrol and sit and radar, we will. Those are all definitely trouble areas and have been. And so duly noted, and we'll see what we can get out and where. But it's not just, a safety issue for the kids going back to school. It's, folks crossing, traveling on the cross streets, or residents pulling out of driveways or coming out of parking spaces and such. And so, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. And we've heard about Dixon for a while, quite a few comments on that street. I
know.
As well as the new streets. I haven't heard much about Morgan and Smith Road, but we've heard about Dixon for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Dixon's tough too, because it does when you get closer to Sycamore, it goes to 35. Yeah.
Morgan always is. Once you get, cross Phillips there at Northwest Park and you're heading east between there and Smith Road, folks race up there just because there's it's more industrial through there.
Yeah.
But then from Apperson east out to 931, there's I don't think there's any stops along Morgan, and so folks hightail it. So we can look at the possibility of a stop. I know Ohio is always an interesting intersection that we look at and have considered. So
Ohio just struggles in general.
Yep.
Go blue. All right, so those are the questions we had today. Thanks for sending in those questions. I appreciate all the great engagement in the live chat today, as well as the questions. Good show, good view numbers. Yep. Thank you guys for watching.
Nice catch
up. Do you have a dad joke for us today?
Obviously, we just celebrated our nation's birthday, and the symbol of our country is Old Glory herself, the American flag. Do you know what American flags say to each other?
I didn't know flags could speak.
They don't. They just wave.
Look on your face. Did you see that coming? Oh, okay. I thought you saw that coming. Producer Brady over there. We'll see you guys. Thanks for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post. Partner with Robert Miller and Son Furniture. Shout out to Azumi Japanese Cuisine. Go check them out. Literally some of the best, if not the best, sushi in Kokomo. I tell you what, for like a town in the middle of Indiana, not a coastal in any way, we do have some solid sushi in this town. And I think people like it. I think there's a lot of sushi lovers in this town. Go check out Azumi. They have great menu with ramen too. So thanks guys for watching this episode. We'll see you next time.
See you, Kokomo.